Welcome, welcome. This is Linda, and I'm so happy to have you here with me. Today, we're going to do something a little different, and I know there's just a ton of people out there that would love to do something with fabric, but sewing isn't their favorite thing. And so let's find a way for you to play with fabric that doesn't require machine sewing or hand sewing unless you want to add those elements. Otherwise, you can do this just flat out with fusible web and fabric. And fusible web is available in any craft store anywhere, Walmart, places like that. And you just follow the manufacturer's instructions as to how to adhere it to your fabric. Now, I have used it over the years, so I have quite a batch of remnants. This is a bucket of pretty good sized pieces that they have the fusible web on the back, so they're ready for me to cut and use. Now, you will need a hot iron, and a small tacking iron is the best. Now, this is the tacking iron that I have. It's, as you can see, been used a lot. It's quite old, but it's still working well. It's heating up good, and I like it. I like the size of it. I don't like to work with bigger irons, even little mini irons for this, because most of the things I do have pretty small pieces. And so this is a great item for that. Now, you will need a holder for it. And when you buy these like this, they do come with a little stand. Or you need something that's safe to put it on when it's hot, something metal or something easy that you can rest it on and use it when it's hot. Okay, these are my bigger sizes. And then I have another drawer with a whole bunch of smaller cuts, okay, that I save everything, and you'll see why as we go along. You can see that over the years I've got a pretty good selection, and I have even more than these because I used to do online classes in mosaic art using the fusible method. So I have quite a bit of things left over from that. So I'm going to be using these. And my first piece is going to be on a little 8x8. And I love using dark fabrics. Black is my preferred color because I find that any art that I want to put on that works. But you can use different colors depending on what you want to do. For instance, if I wanted to make something out of black fabric, then I would probably choose a white background so that that black fabric really contrasted and showed. You can use dark browns, dark greens, and they come out really nice. You do want to use solids unless you have a particular design in mind and a pattern would work with that. But the point is, whatever project you dream up to make, choose a background fabric appropriate. Now, this is an 8x8. This is a good little size to start with. I have made up to 24x30s in this fusible method of artwork. And I will show you some of those as we go along in this series. But anyway, absolutely anybody can do this, because if you can use an iron and a pair of scissors, you got this made. This is all it takes, okay? Take your fabric and put it in manageable pieces, and they don't have to be large. If you got just a small piece of something, let me see down in here. Maybe like that, and you just want to put the fusible on the back, we'll do that. Like I said, follow the manufacturer's instructions, because whatever fusible you buy, that's what you need to do. Now, I used mostly Wonder Under, medium weight. But I have used other things that when I didn't have any of that and that wasn't available. But so you find the one that you like best and you use it. I don't like a real heavy bonding agent that gives me a heavy glossy glue backing. I don't like those. But the Wonder Under I think works really well. Okay, so what can you make to start with? Well, I'm thinking let's make a little pot with some little flowers. That's easy enough for any of us to do. Now, if you noticed, I call this shard work. Years ago, this was probably known more as snippet art, basically. And snippet art was just compiling a bunch of snippets into something, and kind of like, it was like impressionist art. And this is more precise, and although there'll be a mixture of all those kind of things in these series as I go along. But so what exactly is shard work? Or what's a shard, for that matter? A shard in the English language, in a broad sense, it represents a small fragment or sliver of something that's broken or has sharp edges, okay? So when you cut things, of course, you get edges. In an artistic context, though, like we're going to be doing, they can be seen as fragments that hint at a story or suggest a direction, or literally just bits of pieces that come together to create something. Let's see. Well, they create a creative work. They come together and they create a creative work. It's like synchronizing or arranging shards or cuts of fabric, and they come together in a coordinated arrangement that means something to you. So now that we know what a shard work is, and I'm going to make a flower pot with some flowers. First thing I need is a flower pot. Okay, this pattern doesn't work. This pattern doesn't work. This pattern would. It looks like granite. This one would work. See if we got anything else down in here. Oh, I like this one. I think that works good. Okay, let me get this one out. Now, you can freehand this stuff, or you can draw on the back and cut from there. So let's do that. Let's see, we've got a piece about this size. We don't need our pot that big because we have to have room for our flowers. But let's say, first of all, let's get us a straight line. And let's just come up like that. And let's see, that might be okay. We put it down like that. That's pretty good. We might put another little loop on it and give us a straight line across. Something like that looks like a pretty good size for this 8x8, don't you think? Okay, let's cut it out and be surprised by what our pot looks like on the other side. So let's get us a cut here. And remember, do not throw away any of your small pieces. If you do much of this, you will use lots and lots of those little cuts. Okay, there's our pot. We'll put these back in a small batch container. All right, what we have to do now is take the paper off. I like to use a pen to score the paper on the back side. Now, this paper has been bonded for a while, and so it's cool, and it will peel easily. When you will find that if you are fusing your fabric at the same time that you're creating, it's very difficult to peel warm those glue paper off of warm fabric. So make sure you fuse up your fabric, lay it aside, and let it cool off really well, and then it will work for you. So there's our pot. Not bad, huh? Pretty good looking pot. Okay. Now, do we want a centered pot and flower? Do we want it over to the side with our flowers and maybe a little something over here? I don't know. I'm thinking I want to combine this with a little bit of slow stitch over here. We'll just see what happens, okay? Let's, I'm thinking of that. I have some elements that I might want to combine with this, so we'll just play with that in a minute. For right now, we're going to work on this flower pot. Now, you see I have Scotch tape here. I find that very useful to pick up the fibers off my fabric. And so you might want to keep some of that handy to use along. I'm going to get this a little more, not quite centered, but a little more inside. Okay, all right. Now, I'm not going to glue this down completely yet because I want to stick some things I know inside. Like, let me find what I'm doing here. Let's see. I want to find some greenery, something that works. Here's the little pieces that's been cut off, but you could see how I could use these. This is not the best scissors for this, but I cannot right now find my other scissors, so what we need is some stems just to start arranging this flower pot. And let's say we wanted to use something like that. And perhaps let's get my fabric scissors here. That might work. And let's just do another type of flower stem. Tweezers are excellent to have when you're working with this. Remember to go over and under, intertwine pieces just like they would be in reality. Don't put things down just blocked up because that will ruin your artwork, okay? What I am going to do is I'm going to take my little iron and I am going to tack right in the center of this pot I'm going to add heat for a little bit so that I melt that glue to the back piece of fabric. And that will keep that from moving around on me. But I've left my edges open so that I can tuck things under. That's kind of interesting. Wonder what that would look like. Let's try a little bit of fussy cutting here. And see if it's something we can work in. Kind of large. Let's see. Just tuck it under the green on that side. And we'll let that piece come over the top. That's kind of cool, isn't it? I like that. All right, let's keep looking through the remnants here and see what we got. That's not enough contrast. Well, that's some pretty colors. But let's see what else we might have. Here's some more of that red. And again, it's crazy little pieces. But crazy little pieces is just what we need. Now sometimes you can just bend it, and after it's been on the fabric a while, it'll just come off, especially when it's cold. Let's take this one. Make sure you take your paper off every time, because if you try to tack it down and you've got it in an intricate arrangement and your paper is on it, it won't stick. Everything else will, but not that. So always make sure your paper is off the back of what you're working with, okay? All right, I just keep looking through my little bits and pieces. See what I can find. Audition them out. That's an interesting looking little piece. Let's get the paper off of him so I don't do what I told you not to do. Do you see how we're just building what kind of looks to us like a flower arrangement? Again, this is for you. Don't worry about what other people might think of it. This is your arrangement. Do what you want to do. Let's see, this one is kind of a funky little thing. Let's lift him up a little. Oh, come on, stay right side up. That's pretty good. All right. Did I take the paper off? Yes, I did. This is kind of interesting. Okay, on the back you can see where the line where it's fused. I don't want to use this side because it doesn't have any glue on it. So also when you're using your leftovers, make sure that you have backing on everything, okay? Same way with this side. So we're going to take off that's not good to use, and we're going to peel this. This should pop. Yeah, there it goes. Up. That's why I like fusing fabric ahead of time, because it's so easy to get the paper off. I kind of like that. I also kind of like that as a decoration on the bottom of the pot. It also gives it a little shadowing down there, which is a good thing. I like that. All right. Now I'm not going to put anything under the pot here. So what I'm going to do now, because I want this to stay, is I am going to fuse this while I've got it. Use enough heat to tack it in place. Just gives that pot a little interest, doesn't it? Linda. All right, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to snip this little edge off. I don't need that. Okay, all right. You know, I'm pretty sure that this little piece that keeps wanting to bend on me is going to stay where it's at. So I am going to tack this little piece right there just so it won't keep moving on me. But not the whole thing, because I'm not sure yet exactly where all these placements are going. All right. Now, where is that? Okay, let's see. What kind of flowers we could put on this. That's very interesting. I wonder if we could get some of that. To look. We're going to fussy cut a shape. We're just using our imagination here. Kind of using some of the design and kind of just making it up as I go. Okay. Let's take the paper off. Oh, I like it. Do you like it? I like it a lot. Let's see if I can tilt it a little. There. Try to keep your pieces balanced like you would if you were arranging flowers. let's try just to cut a circle out of this. Oops. Okay, on the back again, I had to check because this part doesn't have the glue, so I'm going to have to make my circles smaller. You do not want fabric that doesn't have glue on the back. This matches this, and it would be a good time to use it to coordinate. Something like that. Let's play with it a little bit. Do I like it further out? Do I like it centered? Where do I want it? I think I like it right there. This is another piece of it. Again, I'm trimming off, checking the back, making sure I'm not got any fabric that's not glued. Okay, I want a piece that kind of hangs down over the pot. Okay, that kind of works. All right, so far so good. Now we have to keep building and up. Keep trying to find things that interest you in your colors. Let's see if I could get a flower out of this. I might draw one. How about this is a very simple 4-petal flower. All right, all right, all right. Let's see, where do we want this one? Let's put him right in there. I like it. If we wanted to play with a little artistic touch, we'll save that, okay? I'm going to draw some more flowers. All right. Maybe one a little bigger and a 3-petal. And then maybe, let's see, let's do another one, kind of big. Okay, 3-petal. I like to get the piece down to manageable size here. You end up with some very interesting shapes when you fussy cut, and those work out as wonderful pieces to use as you go along. Let's make him that looks pretty good up there. I like that. Isn't this fun? And I love it because absolutely anybody can do this. And a lot of younger people who don't want to sew, they think that's a boring thing, would love to do this kind of fabric art. So be sure to tell them about the video and recommend it to them. Let's get this one down there. All right. I'm liking that. I'm liking that. Aren't these interesting pieces? They will work wonderfully on something else later on. Meanwhile, we've got some pieces going on here. Let's see if, no, that works better. That works pretty good, doesn't it? You know what? I'm liking that size. I'm not going to add a bunch more, so I am going to fuse down so that stays in place. Still leaving some of my edges free, just in case I change my mind. I'm liking this. I'm going to get the center of that down. Don't fuse until you're sure, okay? And then if you can, leave some edges just open just in case so you can tuck other things in. Now, something that coordinates well with that purple is this yellow gold. So let's make some little circles. For the middle of our flower. Okay, that one looks too big to me. Let's cut it down. Okay, that looks better. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a little snippet of this, get the paper off the back. Well, I should have got the paper off the back first because that didn't want to, too to work with. Okay, there it comes. I'm going to break that up just a little. Make it look more realistic to me. It might have ruined it for you, but it looks more realistic to me. Okay. Now let's see. Got some of these little pieces I want to get. Now let's see if I can make what I want to do here. I think I want to make a kind of spiky flower. We'll see if it works. I think this is so much fun because you just get to play. Nothing is critical. If you don't like what you cut, don't use it. That's, you know, as easy as it gets. Get something else and work with it. Put that back in the pot. You'll lose it. You'll use it again later. Okay, let's use this coordinating yellow and put it like right there. I think that's good. Then we can use some of these spiky pieces to fill in. To make that make sense. Okay, I'm thinking this is looking good. Okay, I am going to take a little piece of this, get the paper off. I like my piece that comes down, but it's just a little dull. So let me work it up here. I like that. And let's see. How do I want to do this? I'm going to do this way. Now what I'm doing is I am camouflaging some of my edges, making this arrangement flow. And a lot of that is just putting in bits and pieces of color, like if you were painting. Let's see. Let's get this one out here. Going to have to stop that with this. Okay, let's adhere some of this down so that I don't keep moving it around. And we're going to get that right there. Okay, now I think I need another purple flower. Let's see if I can just free cut it out of this. We'll get a flower, a flower, a flower. That's a funky looking flower, but we're gonna go with it. Okay, it is going to actually be out here, and we need a little piece of yellow for the middle, and we don't have to have everything. Did I take the paper off that? Yeah, we don't have to have everything round. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Let's tack that out here. We need something right there. We need something contrasting right there. This might work. Let's try that. First of all, yeah. Let's see if I can draw on it. My sister, who was a good artist, she could draw anything, used to make fun of me because she said, "You make beautiful fabric art, but you can't draw a straight line." And she was so right. I can't draw. I'm better at interpreting shapes and color. I'm good at composition and balance. I'm good with working with color, but I cannot draw stick people. I'm very challenged that way. Oh, that looks pretty good, don't it? Let's let this come over. All right, that looks good. I like that. We need something for the end of him. What should we have out there? Okay, we've got lots of purples and golds and blues going on. I think I need something pretty light in color. I have this funky little piece. This had a pattern on it, which is not always good, but I'm gonna see if it works for me with this one. So I just want kind of a fat little bud-like. And if it works, it's light in color, which I want, I think, and something like it's picking up light. And maybe the pattern will draw attention to it. Ah, isn't that cute? I love it. I love it. I love it. I've got a little sliver of that fabric. Let's see if I can do something else with it, because usually you need more than one of something. You need to make it make sense, so there needs to be more than one in there. Not always, but sometimes I think it makes more sense if there's more than one. Okay, I like that. Okay. I think that's a pretty flower arrangement, don't you? You know what? I'm thinking I could just about call that done. I am. So I'm going to fuse this now. The whole thing. All my edges. And hope I'd followed my own instructions and made sure they got all the paper off everything. My little iron has been heating for a while, so it's pretty hot. Doesn't take a long time. Now, what I also do when I make a piece like this is I fuse it like this with my little iron. But when everything's finished, absolutely finished, then I will take it and fuse it with the big iron so that I make sure I get a good adherence to the back fabric. All right. Okay, now, I said I might want to do something with that's just too overpowering. What do I want to do down here? I might decide to do something that gives this table a little context, something that it might be sitting on. Just a very small piece. Okay. Let's see. I'll put that there, but I think I want to put some color play like that. I think that'll work. So get the paper off of this one. And whoops, there's some fabric that isn't adhered. And I think I'm going to let it go that long that way. And put there like it's a shadow. What about if I do it this way? Bring it to, there I like that. That just kind of gives an illusion that the pot is sitting on something. Now, another thing you can do with your art like this is to use your Inktense pencils, your markers, anything that's color, to add basically shadow to something. I've got a purple marker here. Let's see if I can demonstrate that. Let's say we want to shadow the very inside of this just a little bit, like it might have been in nature. Usually the underside of things are darker, where the light is not hitting them. You can come in and do that, shadow your pieces, or anything you want to do to give things a more realistic look. Just add a little of this and a little of that to it, okay? I'm gonna accentuate the shadow edge over here. Come down, shadow that a little bit, show that that's sometimes your fabric doesn't give you exactly what you want, and it doesn't have to be exaggerated, you know, or anything like that. Just play with it a little bit. Sometimes your flowers that are pieces that are tucked under, they need a little shadowing. Just have fun with it. Nothing you have to do. You can just leave it like it was. Okay. All right. Now, what do I want to put on that? I don't know what I want to put on that. I want to put something slow stitch wise, but I don't know what. Let's see. I have these little medallions. No. What if I put a word? I have some words. Let's see if I can. Use a little bit of my fabric stuff here that I printed on fabric. And let's get that fibers cleaned up again off this black background. Okay, and what if I tuck this right in there? Don't dream it, sew it. Don't dream it, sew it. Not happy with that either. I'll think of something. I don't know what yet. Let's see what I've got up in my drawers. Is there anything up here usable? I don't see anything right off the bat. That is really pretty. Oh, you know what? That is gorgeous. Oh man, that's pretty. You know what? That doesn't have glue on it. In fact, it has a glitter all over it. I am going to sew that in there. I think that is just a very artistic piece. Lay it across there like that. Not exactly sure where I want it. Kind of like that too. Okay. I'm thinking that I keep playing with that until I find a place that I think it will go well. And I'm really leaning to this side. I think that's really pretty. But also it could just flat be on the ground. That may be the place. That's where I'm going to sew that piece. So I'm going to combine my sewing with my shard art here. Okay, so we're going to have both of those things in here. All right, what do you think? Fun, huh? Now all these little pieces, save them all, put them back in your drawer. No piece is too small, remember. No shape too crazy. We're going to put them all back in. All right. Okay, do you like that? That is gorgeous. I love it. Now, if you want to stitch, you can always stitch in your background, or you can add an element like I did. But the point is, you don't have to. You can now frame this out just the way it is, and you've got a wonderful little piece of art. Okay? Or you can case it, put a casing around it, and then put a little holder on the back and a dowel and hang it like a little quilt. Okay? All right. Till next time, let's stay scrap happy.